Happy New Year! This is season 2, episode 1 of Kings Speak. How did you weather 2020? How did it shape your purpose? How did it shift your perspective? And how did it adjust your performance? We're going to be talking about all that and more on this episode. Hey guys, what's going on? And welcome to Kings Speak. I'm super excited. This is the first episode of the year. We went on hiatus last year after, I want to say I feel like it was like 20 episodes, something like that. But welcome to Kings Speak. I'm so glad that you guys are here. This is an interview series that I had created to give men the space to have conversations about emotional intelligence, self-mastery, vulnerability, and things that men aren't generally talking about. We hear men talk about business goals and where they want to be and how, what they want to do. But this isn't something where they just vent their feelings, but at the same time, it's such an opportunity to get to the root of what's really going on with folks. I believe it's important that we harmonize relationships between men and women. And in order to do that, we have to be in communication with each other, right? We have to be able to hear each other and understand what each other is saying, so that way we can find common ground. So I'm really excited about today's episode. It's all about how did 2020 shape your purpose, shift your perspective, and change your performance. Us women, we talk about it all the time, but it's not about us. It is about the men today. So I have 3 gentlemen joining me today. And this is the second time we're doing a King Speak panel. So I'm really excited about that. First up, one of my favorite people. He might not know it, but he's one of my favorite people. And he was the guest we had on the Power of Preparation episode. So let me get Nate up in here. What's going on, Nate?
Am I in the building?
You in the building. You on camera.
Now I'm not so good with StreamYard. So I'm everywhere right now trying to I did this last time with you, okay? Where I'm everywhere to get my stuff right and make me look good. Because I'm not just somebody who just like hopping on to things. You feel me? I look I'm in place. You feel me? So I gotta get right. And so right now, I'm trying to okay. Because I'm ready. I like my frame.
Your frame look good. Your frame is there. You got your earphones in.
See, I look dark. See, I look dark.
Just a little, but you good. See, I'm up here. I got some daylight. I got my ring light. I can't be in here looking cray-cray. Where's Jamal?
Jamal's coming.
All right, perfect. We'll just start.
Jamal be late. There we go. See, I know how to operate. Look, I got my own studio in here. Hold on, Jamie. Let me get right.
2021.
Let me get right.
Yes, we getting right this year, y'all. Ooh, I'm excited to talk about this because I've only been talking to my girlfriends for the most part, and we all know how we weathered the 2020 storm. But I want to see what y'all men conversation was about and how you're looking forward to pivoting your perspective to make this thing work this year.
You met Jamal, correct?
Yeah, I met him at your party, I believe, briefly.
Yeah, so you're gonna get okay, that's the one. Okay, here. We're gonna get this light right. I'm sorry, y'all.
No, it's okay. It's all good. 2020 lessons and blessings. I even put it in the chat. So for those of y'all watching, put a comment. Let us know what are some ways that you will be approaching 2021 differently when it comes to purpose and performance. How did 2020 change you and shape your mindset and grow you?
Hey, you thought I wouldn't? You thought I wouldn't get right?
There you go. You good.
No, I'm talking about you thought I wouldn't go get my light right.
No, yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
We're not dark no more. All right, no, for real though, Jamal called me right before and said that he was coming in the house
Okay, cool.
So he's here. So you can get started and he'll just jump in, or we can
Yeah,
chop it
because
up as soon as he's here. But it's up
for
to you.
sure. Yeah, no, we'll just jump in, and then my boy Shaun, he's gonna come in. Last time I interviewed him on Instagram, so I'm hoping he realizes how to get into StreamYard. So I don't need we'll just see. But anyway, how are you doing, Nate? Like, how are you?
I'm great. I'm great, but see, when people ask me that question, especially people close to me, I never like to say good because I feel like it says that generic response. I hate when people ask me, "How are you?" Like, if I'm doing bad right now, I'm not about to sit here and put all my problems on you. So, like, I'm good. I'm always good. And whenever people ask me that question, see, look, Jamal's calling me on my phone right now. He probably slow. He can't get on. Let me answer
Jamal.
real quick.
Yeah. Get him.
Let me answer this real quick.
Okay.
Oh, I declined it on accident.
I'm gonna go on Instagram and see if Shaun is in there too.
Yeah, what's up? We on live and you guessing. What you mean make you download Chrome?
You should just click at the link.
Bro, you can click the link on your phone. Like, it should not be that. I wouldn't say it's
Yeah.
better than your phone,
Oh.
but if it's not, I mean, yeah, maybe it might be. I'm doing it on my computer, but I'm saying it shouldn't be nothing hard that you need to download any extra software or anything. It shouldn't be that.
Oh. Oh yeah. You're looking clear. There he is. All right. Well, we got our second guest in the building. One of my
So just click
friends,
the link. If
the
not,
Olympic
go.
trainer. Is he not getting here? Does Jamal want me to send him the link on Instagram? What's his Instagram? Jamal, is it Jamal Murray? No. Oh, well. Anyways, okay. Well, we have one of my favorite friends in the building, and I haven't seen him in forever, but we're going to get Shaun up on here. The best shape I ever been in my life was through one of his programs, and he's an amazing person, amazing friend. I miss you in person, Shaun. What's up? Welcome to the show.
Oh, what's going on? Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
All right, cool. I was over here trying to figure out how to use the mic, the laptop, trying to make it look super professional, but that just didn't work out today.
Yeah.
It didn't work out.
It's okay. Nate was getting himself together. It's the first episode of the year. No biggie. We're in here live. People know what's up. We have Jamal that's going to join us, but I'm so glad to see you. So Shaun, Nate, Shaun, if y'all have never met.
What's going on, bro?
Hey, we family already. We family already on this panel.
That's right.
So y'all know how I do. You've been to my events and stuff, and that's just how I roll. It's like we'll meet each other on the fly. Next thing you know, we're sipping mimosas, having a good time, and we leave besties. I'm here for it. So let's see. Is Jamal okay? Does he need some help?
I don't know.
What's his Instagram?
He's a technical. I sent it to you, so you should have it in your DMs.
Okay, let me look at my DM. Oh, that was him. Okay, no, this was somebody else. Okay, well, I'm sending him the thing now, and he could just click it, and he should be good to go. But anyway, I wanted to get up with you guys because 2020 was a heck of a year, and I wanted to see how it affected you when it came to purpose, perspective, and performance. I see Jamal in the building. What's up? Let's get him in here.
All right, we in the game now. Oh, we in the game now.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
There we go.
Hey, turn landscape. Turn landscape. You know
turn it.
Yep. All right, now you're in the right media space. Now you know what you're doing. Okay.
Get your earphones, Jamal.
Oh Lord. Yeah, I got it. Can you hear me? Everything good?
Yeah, but do you have your earphones in?
Yeah, I got them. Yeah.
Oh, okay, perfect. Awesome. So I love this. Thank you guys all for joining. This is the first, I did a panel once for King's Speak. And what I just shared with everyone is this is just an opportunity to hear about these things from the male perspective. I think if we're going to harmonize relationships between men and women, whether it's professional, friends, uncle, daddy, boyfriends, whatever, it's really important that we hear you guys talk and understand what you go through and how you view things. So this is all about how 2020 shaped your purpose shifted your perspective and maybe some ways that you plan on changing your performance. So when it comes to purpose, and actually, Shaun, I'll start with you on this one. When it comes to purpose, how did 2020 affect your purpose work? And, tell us a little bit about what you do.
Okay. Well, the effects that it has, I was working somewhere part-time, along with my training, working on my businesses and so on, just to kind of keep money coming from, another place, so I don't have to think about certain things. And then when I lost that, I kind of got bummed out for a second because I had a nice little system going on, and I kind of liked the way it was. But when I lost it, I'm just like, okay, I have to readjust, which I've done many times over the years. So a lot of people were like, oh, the pandemic, it did this, it did that, I hate it, it's this. And this has been one of the best things that's ever happened to me, not necessarily from a financial standpoint, but more from a mental capacity and rebuilding, restructuring everything that I'm doing, finding all my weak points, finding where I've been procrastinating, and just get rid of it. So that's been the biggest thing for me. And basically what I do, other than the training aspect, I help people start their first business, which I have a book on that. I also have a technology degree, so I help people with their websites, build their websites. And I also have a product that I own as well. So it's a few different things going on, but it kind of all revolve around each other.
Yes, I love it. Now, Jay, thank you for sharing that. And I love how you mentioned that 2020 was a good year. I know we hear and see a lot of complaining online, which I understand. It was tough for a lot of people, so I can't even hold them. It is right. What it is. But there was also a lot of opportunity in it. So, Jay, how do you see, how did it kind of shift your purpose in the way you think of things? And was it a good year for you? What did you learn in that aspect?
Can y'all hear me fine before I start rambling?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we got you.
Okay, cool. All right, cool. So as far as like 2020 for me, it was more of kind of put yourself out there, even though this is a time where we social distance, right? Which is a funny thing. Just because I'm a personal trainer, right? So we're in a time where health is important. So it required me to not only take what I do more seriously, but be willing to like take risk while doing those. You got to think I go to people's homes. So I'm around their kids, I'm around their family, stuff like that. So it really made me like hone in and focus on not only what I actually do, but making sure that if I am going to be out here, that I'm living exactly what I'm speaking, right? So make sure you're eating right, make sure you're staying on top of all of the things that you know you need to do to make sure that you keep yourself safe and your client safe. So it really taught me like, hey, you're going to have to put yourself out there. You're going to have to overcome fear. You're going to have to overcome worry if you want to grow in this season, right? And I was able to do that. So to me, 2020, like bro just said, 2020 was huge for me because it was like, it really showed me another side of myself that I needed to see, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Wow, I really love that. So, showing yourself a part of yourself that you needed to see. I think that's one of the lessons I really got too. But Nate, tell me how 2020 shifted your purpose and how you function and flow. What did you get out of the lesson you got out of the year?
2020 was crazy. It was probably the most stressful, empowering, spiritual journey that I've been on. And it's from this house. I ain't been nowhere, but I'm so stressed and drained from 2020. But it was beautiful because when the pandemic immediately started, as you know, I want to get into the media, and I believe that I have a perspective and my voice needs to be heard. I need to be speaking to our generation. And right at the beginning of the year, that's when AfterBuzz came around, and I started working at AfterBuzz. So that was like my launching point to start my career, to start working, start learning, start getting better, start networking, start getting my voice out there. And when the pandemic happened, my first thought was, okay, it's time to double down. So I wasn't mad that the pandemic happened. It was like, this is an opportunity for you to grow. So you're going to be sitting here this whole year, get to work. So I doubled down immediately. And so like everyone else in the world did, YouTube channel came up, podcast ideas, like how can you get content out there? Because everyone's about to be at home. That's immediately where my mind went. But then after about a month, while I was going through this process, I realized that not only did media change, because it's not ever going back to what it was, right? So there was a shift. So now I said, okay, Nate, you can try to ride the wave of the shift, making these podcasts, or you can sit back, because and I chose to sit back. And the reason why I chose to sit back is because as we started seeing all the social justice issues, Black Lives Matter, a lot of stuff that were going on in our society, which I believe that I need to be a part of and I need to be speaking at. I realized that that's this moment, I wasn't ready to be a leader. So I sat back and I said, I'm going to watch how everyone else leads. I'm going to watch how the Stephen A. Smiths, the people who are at the top, who have the voice and the attention of our community, how are they going to lead through this time? And I watched that and I realized that we are ignorant, we are immature, and some of our leaders are leading us in the wrong directions without even knowing that they're leading us in the wrong directions. And so while everyone had their opinions to share, I said, let me just sit back and hear everyone's opinions. And I learned and my perspective changed that now I'm looking at it like, okay, for me to get to people, for me to have people help understand the world, I need to come up with a different approach, because what we think is helping us is actually hurting us, and we think is hurting us is actually going to help us. But to get people to understand that, you have to be able to come at people where they actually are. So that's kind of the journey that I went through throughout this whole year of trying to develop a new perspective of trying to get to people what's the truth that they need in their life to make their life better. Lack of a better term. I ramble.
No, I love
all
that.
right.
Yeah, and it was really interesting to hear because, I even put that as a question down. As a man, you guys are your doers, your fixers. You move, you want to get it done. You move differently but I'm kind of refreshed to hear that you were able to sit back, take a moment and observe, like receive information and find your footing in things, because that is equally as important as action. So, Shaun, Jay, did you find yourselves doing the same? I know, Jay, you said that you wanted to reevaluate how you showed up and make sure that you're practicing what you preach. How about you, Shaun? What did you observe in, because the social injustice and the climax and not the climax, the climate that we had going on, especially when it comes to like March, April, it was a really tight time at that time. What were some of your observations?
Well, yeah, that was actually part of, I guess you could say, my transformation or move to the next step for me, because along with revamping things, just say, okay, let's just pick apart the business, completely tear it apart, put it back together, and each of them. And then, March, April, George Floyd came in, and then something kind of clicked for me. Just kind of really just hit me hard. And I'm not the activist. I'm not the protest guy. I'm none of that. I never have been. I've always lived in a certain bubble. I was an athlete for so many years. That was my world. So, but when all those things happened, something just kind of just clicked and said, okay, you know what? Few situations easily could have been myself. I need to do more along with what I'm doing. I need to do more with helping people. I have all these different gifts that I've been blessed to have, and I'm literally holding them in, keeping them to myself, and then complain that I can't get them out. When there's tons of ways to get them out, just do it. And then it just got to the point where I said, you know what? And I actually went to one of the big protests. And like I said, it's not something I normally do. I have PTSD from my past when it comes to large crowds, violence, stuff like that, just from my upbringing. But it was something I had to do. And once I was able to see what was going on, I was on ground zero. It's like, all right, you know what? I have to change things to get my message and what my gift out to help others. And that kind of helped me refocus things a little bit more than just the regular business stuff.
Yeah, no, that is amazing. I'm glad to hear that even though the social injustice, George Floyd and everything that we went through with the protests and everything, as negative as it, I retreated when that happened. I'm like you, Shaun. I'm empathic. I feel everything. I can't be in large crowds with all that going on. I'll just
Yeah.
break down or something. So I stayed in the house where I felt safe and okay to just, be. But sometimes in the breaking of things, it opens things up so we can find the beauty in it. And it sounds like that's what you were able to do. It launched you forward a little bit. So how about you, Jay? I want, is there anything that you were doing before 2020 that you are very cognizant that you're not going to be doing in 2021? Like whether it be, how you flow, how you show up, how you attack your goals, how you converse with people. Is there just anything where you had an aha moment where it was like, oh my God, I used to do this. I was doing this for so long. I'm not going to be doing this in 2021 because it doesn't serve me.
Well, kind of going back to 2020, like what I was saying before, I had to really overcome like worry and fear and things like that, right? So what it taught me was just go. You know what I'm saying? You're not like you sitting in the room worrying about what could happen. You're wasting your time. You know what I mean? You won't truly know anything until you actually go and do it, right? So for me, what it taught me is this year I don't need a stamp. I don't need a green light. The green light's already there. I'm not waiting for anybody to say, okay, well, maybe this works. Maybe you should tweak that. I don't care about any of that. I'm just gonna go, and as I go, we'll make corrections where it need to be. But I mean, but that took 2020 having to hit me in the face and be like, look, bro, you can either sit in the house and lose money, or you can go out there and make something happen, right? So coming into 2021, it's the same perspective. It's the same mentality. Like, because if anything, 2020 gave me more faith, because it's like, all right, well, if you was able to make it happen in that climate, well, you should be okay now, So pretty much that's my take on it, is just go out there and make it happen and let the chips fall where they may.
Yeah, I really love that. And Nate, I'll go to you. I have to admit, kind of as a woman, sometimes I never think or assume that men are worried about their work, because y'all have this persona that you're like, I'm gonna go get it. I can do this. You're the provider. As a woman, I never think about, is he afraid to launch his project? Are they nervous about what people think about it? Are they worried about, because the energy that men carry seems to be more like, go get it. So I love hearing the fact that you were all able to take a pause, sit back, see what was going on, look within yourself, and find a new route and a new lane that all three of you it's more powerful. You're functioning from, instead of a power deficit, more of from your authentic power. So when it comes to performance, and I'll ask you, Nate, you sat back for a little bit, and now are you feeling the pressure of like go time? Are you doubling down when it comes to performance? Do you have a new pace, or are you kind of going with the flow? What did 2020 teach you about time and effort?
Yeah, it taught me a lot. And I was laughing last night. I was going through the questions. This was one that I had to answer for each one, because I'm at every single stage. But kind of answering the question that you asked, Jamal, with this question about like what I did and then what I expect now. What a lot of people don't understand about me, one thing that I wish I wasn't acting like that was holding me back is standing up for myself. And that probably blows people back so much. Like, what are you talking about? And the second part is me believing in myself, me being cocky and me being too humble. Like me not being cocky enough and being too humble. Again, that's gonna blow people back. Nate, what are you talking about? You seem like you have the most confidence. If anything, you're the cockiest person I know. If anything, you talk the most, and you always are trying to get into an argument and stand up for yourself. No, I have not been. And that's one thing that God has been pulling me through in 2020. God has been saying, look, dude, I have given you the knowledge. I've given you the resources. I've given you the skills. You put the work in, but you still assume that this individual knows more than you. You still assume that they're better than you at this position. You still assume that. Nobody believes that but you and your own self. And I had to bring myself through that, because I know my greatness. I know how much work I put in. But there's times where I put other people on pedestals, not because I think that they're better than me. It's more so out of a respect, right? Like when people are older than me, they've done the work. I got respect. Like, you have the right of way, but I need to get to the point where, no, I'm better than you. I don't care how long you've been doing it. I'm coming to take your spot. because that's who God has designed me to be. But I need to actually go do it. There's times where, you know, it may be a business situation, and again, I like what people don't realize, because I speak so much, I listen to wisdom. So if someone gives me some advice that's elder than me, I'm going to listen to that advice, not just listen, but I'm also going to apply the advice. But there's some times where I go through a dichotomy of like, okay, well, this is your thought. I think my opinion is better, but you are the elder. So instead of using my opinion and then being wrong and saying, man, I should have listened to my elder, I'll go ahead and listen to my elder. And then when it goes wrong, I got to just sit and look at myself because I listened to somebody else tell me to do something, right? Instead of just listening to my own opinions. And so, and that kind of goes back to hearing everyone else. As I sat back, a lot of people that I had a lot of respect for, I lost a lot of respect for them throughout this time. Because again, as we have every single person on TV speaking about Black lives and what should be going on in the Black community, there's a lot of things that I didn't agree with. Now, do I think that, you know, they're wrong and they shouldn't be on TV? No. But for me, I respected knowledge. So Nate, if you're going to be on TV and you're going to have a platform, make sure that whatever comes out of your mouth is the truth and you're leading people in a correct way. So I have been holding my own self back, not putting out my own information, not putting out my own knowledge, not putting out my own content, just because I want to make sure I'm leading people in the correct way. Like I have a very, very serious like tip on that, because I understand the power of propaganda and media. So when I see, so as I've been holding myself back from that respect, but then I also see some of the people that are the most respected in the industry not leading people in the correct direction. That gives me the performance and purpose. Like, Nate, this year you have to go, because it's not even about you no more. And you, as Shaun kind of said it earlier, where you said, you know, I always see content everywhere, right? But then it's like, all right, Nate, you can make this video. 100 people already made this video, but people haven't seen it in your perspective. They haven't seen it in the way that you have done it. Someone had maybe teaching something all year long, but the way you teach it, now people can understand it and dissect it. So from a performance standpoint, that's kind of where I'm at, where I'm in the most peaceful space where, again, I know exactly where I'm going. I'm not trying to get there fast, but I'm in that go because I know that I've been waiting too long. But at the same time, you know, I feel like I'm right exactly where God wants me to be. You know, everything I planned, you know, everything I prayed for, God has me in those positions. But now he's like, look, you have to just act and just put it into practice, because I've already given it to you. Just go to the world, because they'll accept it and they'll love it. I'm rambling, but
no, I love it.
You're right on the money.
You right on the money. Shaun, can you speak to that? I know you know, you can speak to that, what he just said and the way he was feeling.
Yeah, I mean, and it's like I feel the same way, and that's one of the things that I had to learn starting this year. Just like you said, people may have heard this and heard that, but they haven't heard it from your perspective, and you have no idea what your version or your experience could teach somebody. For example, there are tons of people out there who are teaching people how to, you know, start a business. Okay, fine. How many people came from nothing? How many people had horrible backgrounds? And there are a lot of people who had horrible backgrounds, blah, blah, blah. But you may have one thing that resonates with 100,000 people, or you may have a characteristic that says, you know what, I like what he's saying. And I could be going up against, you know, Mark Cuban, and not saying that he's better than me. He has a skill set I just don't have. He's not better than me. That if he were to jump into my world, he'd be in trouble. But he has a perspective, and if I talk from that same perspective, and I might say the same things, but if people look at me and see my background, they might say, okay, hold on, he's a little bit more relatable. So you can't think, oh, other people have spoken on this before. No. It's your time. It's how you're going to deliver it to the different people. And just like with some rappers, you have some rappers just rapping the same stuff. But you know what? This guy's believable. This one looks like he was just created. This guy looks like he's been through it. You know, so, you know, they're particularly giving the same message. But it's just this crowd may like this crowd may like that. So you may have a crowd, you know, four of us may have a crowd out there that's just waiting to hear from someone like us. Not someone who has the millions of dollars, not someone who has this. They want to hear from somebody who's on the ground, creating, building it, you know, and that's basically what a lot of my book is about, coming from that perspective, because you don't usually get that when it comes to business. You don't get that when it comes to like the, you know, the different larger parts. Even in the training world, I've been in it for 20 years. I have a perspective that almost pretty much no trainer has. But I've held that in for 10, 15 years because I'm like, oh, well, people are always talking about training. I'm like, nah, I need to speak it from my perspective. You know, just like Jay, he's a trainer. He needs to speak it from his perspective. Nate needs to speak what he knows from his perspective, because there's thousands of people who are looking for that particular perspective. And if we keep it and don't throw it out there, it's not only selfish on our part, but we are now not using the gift that we have that can help, you know, people. If it helps one person, that's amazing. So that's what I've learned.
Amen.
No, I love that so much. And I'm so inspired by that, because I can be one of those people. It be the brightest, smartest, most on point people that think they don't have enough. But yet the dummies, and not to crap on anybody, but you know, just the people who talking out the side of their face, they bold. They're real bold, and they'll get up and say and do and blah, blah, blah. And that's what we're seeing here. You know, Nate, when you were talking about, okay, let me sit back and watch, and you're seeing all this crazy stuff happen, you're like, nah, this is not the perspective. And it's very powerful. Yeah, go.
I have another thought to go with what Nate was saying, the humble part. Now, this is something.
There you go.
Black men and Black people in general, we get hit with this at a very early age. Be humble, be humble. Be humble doesn't mean be quiet. You know what I mean? And that's something that we really gotta say, okay, we can still be humble, but we still need to get it and let people know who we are. And some of us think, that's kind of cocky. Like, well, it's not. It's getting out there, letting people know who you are and the talent and gift that you have. There's a difference between cocky and being humble, you know what I'm saying? Or being confident. Be confident, let your talent out. People think humble means, I have to be quiet, just stand here, just look from a
play small.
Exactly. So he hit it on the nail as well.
Yeah, I 100% agree, because mine, and I talk about it because I'm a self-analytical person, so I'm always thinking about who I am and why I am the way I am. But I believe that it's because of my childhood. I grew up in a very suburban area, Caucasian area, and that's what it was. And that's why I resonate with a guy like Kanye so much. And when he speaks about when the kids are running around the classrooms and they'll deem them as bad kids, but that's just them. They're supposed to be entertainers. They're supposed to be the people running around, but we suppress these kids, and then they grow up trying to be something that they're not. And so what happened with me is my ego was over that. And so I was trying to be something that I wasn't, instead of just being who I was. So they kept telling me, no, shut up, stop talking. Well, it turned me into who I am now. Now I'm always reading, I'm always quiet, and I'm always like wanting to be serious. But it was like, as a kid, I was the jokester. You guys said you talk too much, you're too cocky, but now you're telling me that I'm too serious. So then it got to that point where it's like, dude, just be you. You at your purest self, that's what people love you the most. And again, like, you know, I don't want to bring race into this because it's not a racial thing, because I'm above race at this point. But as a Black man at times, and I know our Black women, you guys go through this as well, especially a Black woman in the workforce, you guys don't speak because you don't want to feel like you're cocky, or you're too loud, or you're this, or you're that. I'm here to break down those, I'm here to break down all those barriers. You know what I'm saying? Just because, you know, we are to act certain ways in certain situations. If you're in a business meeting, you need to act business-like. If you're, you know, I get that. But I want people to be who they are. And if people don't accept you who you are, then okay, go find a new business partner, a new industry, go do something else. But first, you have to get yourself right. So you have that power to be able to always be yourself. So if you don't like what's going on, you have the power to leave and still be able to financially feed yourself. Don't get into a situation where you have to change yourself just for this job or whatnot. Not happening.
Right.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on that, Jay? It's kind of like fake humility, right? Like, how do you feel that has shown up in how you perform?
Kind of like what they said. I feel like people can confuse being meek or being humble with like staying quiet and staying out the way. Kind of like what they said. I think I've always taken an approach, and I think Nate could testify to this. Like, I'm not too concerned about if you think I'm humble or not, or if you think I'm arrogant or not. I try not to concern myself with that, because the only one who knows my heart is God. You know what I'm saying? So unless I'm like spending time with you, and this is something that I live by. You know what I'm saying? One of the leaders in my life talks about relationship equity, right? I'm not going to allow you to speak into my life and make me feel away when we had small dialogue. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to go home and be down on myself. We don't even know each other, right? So when it comes to being humble, I think that comes more from a place of respect, more of like honor, kind of what Nate was saying, like, you know, this is the elder in my life, so I respect what you have to say. I don't have to agree with what you're saying, but I do have to listen and try and understand, right? So I think when it comes to like just being humble, I think that's more of just not like, you know, I feel like I'm just kind of repeating what they say, but be who you are, be true to yourself, you know. And I feel like that's a real meekness to that, is saying, I know that some people might not agree, I know some people might not like me, I know some people may like me or enjoy who I am, but regardless, I have to be true to who I am, and we only got one life. So, you know, I applaud anybody who can, you know what I mean, go through what, especially being Black, but again, we're not gonna go there, but can go through what we're going through and still be able to be true to themselves.
Yeah, I agree. And there's so much power in that. And I mean, I think
Mhm.
you did add something too by saying, why allow somebody who doesn't know me at all to speak into my life, so much so that I'm making adjustments? You don't know me. You don't know enough about me to make that sort of an observation. And I've been completely guilty of, you know, going left and which way. I mean, Shaun, you know, we go way back. And
Yeah.
even when I had Sleepless, okay, I started my first business. It was a vision from God. And I didn't know anything to do but to go. And it was new. Nobody understood what I was doing.
Mhm.
Fast forward, it's 2020. What is it? It's influencer marketing. That's simple. There was no word for it when I was like, oh my God, my girls, my group, we're doing this, we're a party. Like, that's all it was. Brands were, it was just influencer marketing. So I always try to tell people when I share my story too, don't allow people, God gave you the vision. Don't allow other people to shift that or tell you what it is. Sure, an elder, you could speak to me, but eat the meat, spit out the bones. God didn't give you the vision. He gave it to me. And when I used to do my group therapies, like with women, I had healing circles and things like that. We would always talk about, what if you got to the end of your life and God showed you all of the people that you were supposed to serve, but didn't, because you weren't willing to speak up. You weren't willing to step forward. You weren't willing to shine, and all of the things that we're saying. So if it took 2020 to ruffle those feathers, like, I'm cool with that. You know, fire, when everything burns and burns everything down, sure, that's tragic, but then you're left with the most fertile soil that you could ever have. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely think that 2021 will be an opportunity to grow. So I don't know, one of you guys tell me what you're most excited about when it comes to 2021. And I know it's another year, it's just another day, but what is something that you're excited to bring forth in this new season? Any one of you? Yeah, go ahead, Shaun.
Yeah.
Oh,
Good, Shaun.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I was gonna go last, but things that I'm excited for. That wasn't like a hey, it's me. I was trying to point like
I thought you was
right.
Oh, yeah.
My video is right up under Nate's, and then Jay's to the side. I'm like, yeah. No, it wasn't. But all right, fine. I'll go. I ran my mouth. But one of the things is just getting out and just speaking more about what I know, sharing my different experiences, the knowledge that I have, and just helping others, whether it be just go along with their life from different perspectives, whether it be from a training perspective, whether it be from a business perspective. And, you know, the training and business sort of thing, well, life lessons I can speak about the most because Jamie knows my background. I've been through it. And then the training part as well, because like I said, I've been doing it for 20 years. And one of the things I'm working on now is a training course. And I'm going to be mentoring and working with different trainers. So that's one of the biggest things as far as that training world goes. In the business world is getting more of us starting our first business, you know,
Yeah.
to help our families. I didn't come from none of my family members knew anything about business other than to work for a business. You know, I didn't have friends who were in it, you know, who were really doing it. And I think the one person I know that it was a client of mine, I remember the thing that really just kind of lit my fire was she said, oh, that's great that you're trying to start a business. I was like, well, can you help me with this? You know, and then she was like, oh, well, you can't afford me. And I was just like,
oh my God. Okay.
I said, okay, yeah, you're right. And I haven't spoken to her since, but but it just kind of put things in perspective for me. It's like, you know what, you just have to do this from the ground up. So book-wise and everything that I've done, I want to share because the process that I went through, nobody should have to go through that. There should be something that can help people or someone that's willing to help without charging people thousands of dollars. Yeah, we put in the work to get where we are, but that doesn't mean you still can't help people.
I love that.
Yeah, you don't have to hold their hand and take them all through it, but some people are just looking for that starter. Some people are just looking for tips on where to look. People say Google. All right, Google what? Tell me where to go.
Right.
So that's about it. Just helping more people.
Using your pain for purpose. All the things that you didn't get, how you weren't served, using it, you know,
that's
purpose for someone else.
Yeah.
I love it. What about you, Nate? What are you excited about for 2021?
I think I'm kind of on the same tip as Shaun. You know, me and Jamal talked yesterday. I remember Jamal asked me, bro, what do you actually want to do? Because a lot of my things that I do is really for me and my family and my people, right? And so after that, I thought about that question a lot because I know what I want to do, but when I study me and my astrology signs and like what Virgos are, we want fame, but at the same time, we rather have purpose and we rather be useful individuals. And so for the past couple of years, and like Shaun said, people are putting out a lot of information out there. People will tell you to go to Google, but it only gives you so much, right? And so that's the struggle I've been going through doing a lot of research over the years and seeing all these people on social media saying you can do this with real estate, you can do this with stocks, you can do all these different things, you can start this e-commerce business. And I've tried it all and started them all and failed at it all. But what I've learned it now because I went through it now. And so back to me talking about our people and the things that we need to do. Again, we have social justice, but we need to get right financially, economically. So as you talk about you starting businesses, I have that knowledge now. So this year, my focus is making sure I get a lot of these things done. I have my whole life insurance going now. I don't have my business started, but I'm getting my first properties in order. But I need to teach that to my family and my people. They all need to be there. I'm going to be okay. I always tell people I'm going to be fine. But when I'm 55 and I have a property that's worth $1 million and I got a brother and sister and they don't have anything, not saying that that's what's going to happen. I didn't do my job. Nothing proper. If not everyone around you is wealthy, it's not right. And I just believe that when it comes to wealth, it is, I don't want to say it's a lazy thing because I don't want to call people lazy. Chips fall where they fall. But if you open up some books and you start learning, the information is there. And so everything that we can do in our society, we can do it. So I'm in a space that I've learned a lot, but I need to start doing it before I can start showing it because I'm big on that. I can't tell somebody how to go make money. I can't tell nobody how to invest in a house. I can't tell anybody nothing until I do it. So it's about, for me this year, solidifying that and then really passing the game back to people because a lot of this stuff isn't hard. You know, if you think of becoming a lawyer or anything in life, it's always hard until you start doing it. Then you realize, oh, I can do this. And so I'll end by this. I always say one of my biggest downfalls is the fact that I truly believe that I can do anything. So if I want to become the president, it may take me the next 40 years, but I'll drop everything in the world and I'll make that happen. So once you adopt certain principles in the finance world and you know how to move, when you adopt certain principles in your personal life and your discipline life, all those things will always produce certain results. You'll have losses, you'll have wins, but in the long run, it will produce certain results. So my focus is again, coming up with a perspective and a way to get this to people where they can digest it and understand it. But also, I have to get it done and do it myself where I can truly see it. You know, small example because I'm rambling. But this investment, for example, I used to be scared to tell my friends about certain investments because I didn't know if it was going to go up, right? So there was something I was invested in a couple months ago, and I've been researching it for over a year. It was a cryptocurrency, right? And so at this point, I was like, all right, I'm for sure about this cryptocurrency. I'm for sure it's going to come to value. Start telling your friends about it because this can make some people a lot of money. So I started telling my friends about it. Some of them got in, some of them didn't. Next thing you know, the company gets sued and the stock goes down. So I feel like I just lost my friends a lot of money, right? They grown, they can make their own decisions, but those are the things that I needed to go through and see because I already was scared to tell them that. But I told them they got hit and it came down. But going forward, I know, all right, look, this is what y'all maybe should invest in. This is the entry point. These are the exit points, and this possibly can happen if something goes wrong. Anyway, I'm done ranting. That's my goal for this year.
No, that reminds me of that episode of Ballers where Strathmore did that. The Rock, his character, he had all his friends come in. But
and then lost all that money.
And then lost all that money. And then too, I don't know, like sometimes too, it's the discernment. And I applaud you for being bold and being nervous to share it, but doing it anyway. And then sometimes I feel like this is where personally I have to differentiate. Like, was that fear, like something nudging me, telling me not to do it? And I pushed past anyway? Or was it something that I needed to experience? So, I mean, whatever, it happened. But I think that the boldness and the lesson that it taught you to saturate yourself in whatever education and do whatever it is you need to do first to then share is perfect. I think your heart is in the right place. So, that's what matters. What does Jay-Z say? Over here, we measure success by how many people successful next to you. But here we say you broke if everybody is broke except for you. Boss.
Yes. Yes.
Hey.
Yes.
That's
So I feel you.
And then even like Dame Dash always talks about how they had like a structure of 10 dudes and they try to make everybody a millionaire. So if somebody made a bad deal, a bad move, all they got to do is pick 100K from everybody, right? Then you're a millionaire again. And okay, it sounds crazy. Yeah, but if we truly, when we talk about group economics, if we truly start adopting some of these things, we really can work, right? Like if instead of calling Wells Fargo for a 10% loan, if you get somebody that you really trust, you need 10K, all right, I need it back by this time, but let's build those trusting relationships. This is how we grow. This is how we truly help our people. All the other asking, no, it's not going to work. We got to get together and do it ourselves. We have enough money in our communities to fix us.
Mm-hmm.
I completely agree. Jay, you got any thoughts on that?
On what am I excited for 2021?
Yeah, because we didn't.
Okay.
Look, you're right.
What's new?
Right. Yeah, let's go with what you're excited for 2021.
I'm just trying to figure out. So for me, like I play sports my entire life, right? And like being an athlete, you're like on a routine, right? Like during the summer, you're doing this. During the winter, you're doing this. During the fall, you're doing this, right? So when sports was done, it was like really hard for me to figure out what is the new routine, right? It was everywhere. I had this job, I had that job. Things were going up and down, ABC, right? So I feel like I finally have the routine that I've been looking for, right? Now, obviously, you make additions when those times come, but I now have the routine that I'm looking for. So for me, it's literally just getting up. I know it sounds crazy and it sounds basic, but just getting up and doing the same things over and over and over again, because I'm really good at that. Like, I feel like anyone who does that, you'll be good at it too. It's just figuring out, okay, what is my routine? What at 6 a.m., what am I doing? At 9 p.m., what am I doing? Like, and just going through that every single day, Monday through whatever, however you set it up, And I feel like I have that now, and I'm juiced for that. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, at the beginning of every year, I go to Abundant Living, out in Rancho Cucamonga. So at the beginning of the year, we all start with a fast, right? So right now I'm on my fast, and it's really helping me to be like, hey, you got to make sure you're up at this time. You got to make sure you're doing this at this time. And it's just the excitement that I'm getting from doing the smallest, most, tedious things. I don't think anyone should be that excited, but I am, and when I think about that, like, all right, if I can when I stay consistent with this in 2021, where will I be at in 2022? You know what I'm saying? How can I be even more consistent? How much did I grow? What's new? And I feel like having that routine and being able to be faithful to that and true to that, it puts you in a position that, we all want to be in, I think it's comfort at the same time, especially in the world that we're in now. There's so much like unknown. There's so much like we don't know what's happening with COVID. We don't know what's happening with the presidents. Like, it's so many things. There's so many question marks, right? So to be able to know that you can wake up and you can do the same things over and over and over again and get better doing them. Like, I mean, I don't know why I'm juiced or excited about that, but I am. You know?
Yo, you got me excited. Like, you cannot downplay that, Jay, because a routine, I wish the good Lord himself will come down and bless me with the ability to just do the same thing every day. Because I don't know if it's because I'm a woman or because I'm the way I don't know, but I'm too stuck in doing what I feel like doing. And to hear you say that you found a routine, I feel like I'm constantly looking for one. But then at the same time, I low key don't really want, I really struggle with the routine thing. And I think you're right. It's the small things, and you should be excited, but the small things are the big things. So right now, like, you're killing it. You're killing the game. The fact that you found a routine, you're excited about it, you're on a fast, so the clarity is coming in.
Yeah.
That's a win. That's a wild win.
Appreciate it.
So I love it. Thank you guys so much for sharing. So before we all the way get out of here, you know I have to ask because I just be wanting to know. But when it comes to relationships with women, how did 2020, or did it reshape the way you see the value in partnership, maybe the way you go about attaining it? Do you find it more or less necessary to have that type of partnership, a family, blah, blah, blah? Did you guys have any shift in your mindset when it comes to dating, relationships, family, and that sort of thing?
I'm absolutely going to ramble, so let me go last because I'm going to ramble.
Oh, okay, you gonna ramble.
I'm gonna go last.
Go ahead, Nate. I jumped in there first last
and
time.
While y'all are getting your thoughts together, let me go to the chat real quick. My girl Tani Belafonte is in here. She said, yes, consistency is key and the only way through to growth. And then love that. The small things are the big things. So she's giving you big ups, Jay, for your routines.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, so Nate, what we doing? How you feeling? Deep sigh.
Let's go.
This year taught me a lot about you women, man. But the first thing I've been thinking, because y'all already know, like, I already don't like going out. So I already wanted this lifestyle. You feel me? I already wanted to be at home with just a woman. So, like, this didn't make me want to get married any more than I already did. But it showed me that, like, for example, I guess this might be a perspective that I've seen and I've changed over to 2020 as well, is when everything shut down and we were so reliant on the government for toilet paper and all that stuff. That bothered me. Right. And so I'm thinking from a perspective of how can you be resourceful? I'm thinking, for me, again, no excuses for nobody. How can we feed ourselves if everything shuts down? How can we feed ourselves in those ways? So I'm not looking no more about this fantasy lifestyle that Hollywood sells us. How can you be resourceful in my life? How can you make my life better? And then the second part is this. I was listening to a guy recently and he was talking about, I forgot exactly what he was talking about, but he was basically talking about money and going out. And me and you have this conversation often, Jamie, about women wanting you to spend all this money, right? But it's like, I got to a point where I know what I'm putting in for my wife right now, right? I know that I got life insurance for my wife already. I know that I'm already sacrificing, not going on vacations and not spending money on women and taking them to Noble. I'm not doing all of that already, sacrificing for my wife right now. So when you come to the table and sit down with me, you have to bring something to the table. That's where I'm at now. And there's no excuses. Like, there's no anything. You must have something because I didn't put this work in for you. Right. And so when I say you must have something to the table, I'm not saying, oh, you need to come with a bunch of money to the table at all. No, but you need to have something that's giving me value in my life more than me just being happy and looking at you and smiling at you. How can you take me from this level to that level? And how can I take you from this level to this level? Other than that, as I've been seeing all these divorces and these prenups and all these people going through these things in the public eye, like, that's sickening to me. And I don't even like the way that we report it because it's like, you don't know what those people are going through, right? And so if I got to get divorced and I got to split with my wife and somebody's telling me how I got to move this around and how often I get to see my kids and all that, that's a problem to me. So my mindset of getting married through paperwork is a different mindset. It changes things, right? It's a business contract. So love is love to me. You already know. But if I'm going to sign that paperwork, it's about business. So you better have your business right, or we're just gonna do love together. It is what it is. There's no other reason to sign a marriage license. So if your business not together, we're not getting married. We're just gonna be in love. I'll buy you a ring. We got a wedding and all. No, I'm everywhere, man. But I just, I love women, and I've been through a transformation where in the past, I was a dog. I realized I was and learned a lot about myself. Now I know exactly who I am. I don't argue with women, and so when I deal with women, it's kind of like I know exactly what I want. So it's either this is what I'm gonna give you. This is what it is. You don't like it, all right, keep it pushing. Like I don't have time for the city shots. And plus, it's hard for me to meet women now because we stuck at home, and I don't know how to do this online stuff. The online stuff doesn't work for me. I need to look at you in your eyes and your soul and all that. So yeah, I don't know. I'm going to be single for the next 20 years. I feel like. But
no, don't put that out there. Take it back.
I ain't worried. God already wrote it out.
Yeah, it sounds like you refined your view of what you needed, and it's important to have a vision, personal codes and values and some kind of direction and stake in the ground so you can actually see the woman that's for you. Maybe there's less distraction and you honing in on how you want to do it, what you want to do, the work and preparation you put in. Now you're not going to basically cast your pearls amongst swine. It's like, is this woman worthy? Is this in alignment with what I've been working for? So I don't think that that's a bad thing at all.
Let me add this real quick. The main part of that though is because I know me, so I know how annoying I am. I know how I know my character and the nature of who I am. So I know I may wake up and be like, "Why are you being lazy today? We got to get some work." Some women don't have time to deal with that. I don't want to even put that onto you for me to feel like I have to refine myself for you. So if I'm thinking about farming, baby, we got to get a farm because we got to be able to feed the family. And you want to think about something else. I don't want to have to suppress my feelings about the farm for you, because when I get married, it's happy wife, happy life. So if you say no farm, it's no farm, right? And so that's why that's serious to me, because it goes back to what I'm going through now and in the past, where I felt like I had to suppress me and my personality to make everybody else feel comfortable. I ain't doing that no more. I'll just remove myself. And so I'm removing myself from those women who are not ready to create a kingdom.
And I think the narrative needs to change. And I can say this as a woman, it is happy wife, happy life, but your husband deserves to be happy too. It's definitely both ways. Why would any woman who really loves a man, why would you want to be with a man who can't be fully himself because you're making all these demands? It's crazy. It makes no sense. You have to pour into each other. So again, maybe this is some of the mantras that we can commit to getting rid of. Happy wife, happy life, yes, but we got to find something that rhymes for the husbands, because y'all got to be happy too.
I'm over here thinking about it too.
Yeah, so let's come up with something because it matters. It matters. Like men, when you're suppressing things, you get sick, you get disease in the body, you're unhappy, you're getting all. It doesn't work. So, being in alignment with the right person and knowing what you want and not faltering on that because of the way society paints the picture of how men and husbands are supposed to show up. I feel like, and me and my girls, I know we're all different, but we want our men to be happy. We're like happy to serve that. So you can find that and have your farm. And if homegirl needs a penthouse, then I guess you're gonna have to have 2 properties. We'll be in the Texas land or whatever at this time, and then we can get to the city and it's fine. It all works. But
and I'm working now for it all that. For all of it, baby. You have it all.
Yeah. So I love it. All right, Shaun, how did 2020 maybe redefine a little bit of how you see women in relationships, if it did at all? Maybe you still just feel the same.
I don't think 2020 it did much for me as far as how I see relationships. It's a kind of tough one. I have a unique situation, which Jamie knows about, but coming out of a rough situation a couple of years ago, which took time to heal from. I think the thing that I learned coming out of it was more of just paying attention to red flags.
Ooh.
And not only paying attention to them, but just look at them, accept them for what they are. Don't try to make excuses for the person. Now, this is from guys to girls, girls to guys. But, you know, understanding those red flags, don't make excuses. Don't say this person will come around to this. Don't say, you know, when people show you who they are, believe them the first time.
Come on.
There's room for growth, of course, but understand, especially when it comes to us men, if we're past a certain age, we are who we are. You know, there's growth, of course. We can learn new things, but as a person, it takes something really big or traumatic to completely change the man to be something completely different. As far as partners are concerned, you know, one of the things I've learned is that you have to get involved with somebody who could care less about money. And now, when I say that, you know, you need money to do certain things. You need to build this, but they're not with you. They're not around you for that. They can function on their own. And I always say, like, the person that I'm going to be with, you know, or I can say the person that I'm with or whatever it may be, this person does not need me. They can function. They can take care of themselves. They can take care of their family without me. I'm an addition. And, you know, and that's what it needs to be for both people. They need to be an addition to your life. So if your thing is business, if your thing is real estate, if your thing is training, you need to have somebody that, you know, who understands, who's going to back you. They may not know jack about real estate. They might not know anything. But if they want to just keep asking questions so they can understand your world, and then not only understand your world, become a part of your world, try to help you do things that you don't even know about, you know, to help you. And they say, oh, hey, by the way, I looked this up for you. And, you know, what do you think? And you're just like, you don't know jack about this, but she may be good at research, where most women are. Research is their thing. So
we all have little inner FBI agents inside.
Yes. You ladies are built that way. So when they want to find something, they can find it.
They're going to find it.
Someone who's interested in what you're doing, what you're involved in, who's willing to back you regardless of the finances. And nowadays, it's very difficult to find it because so many people are stuck in the social media world of money and what's not real. And, you know, I've learned that. I've dealt with people who are in the social media world. I know the celebrities in the world. I've trained some of them. I'm friends with them, but I also know their real lives. And what you see is not what it is.
It's not.
It's not what it is.
It's not.
What you're seeing is when these lights come on, that camera come on, the mic or whatever it may be, they're giving you a world that they know you want to see. They want to hear. The finances doesn't always match what's being told or what's being shown. I can promise you that. That I can promise you. So you got to find somebody who doesn't care about any of that. They're here for you. They're here to push you forward as well as you pushing them forward. You can mesh. And when the way you know you found the right person or someone who's on the right track for you is when they can criticize you constructively and you don't take offense to it.
Nope.
Now that's all kind of maturity and growth.
That's when you know you found somebody that it works. It can work with the two of you guys because, you know, and naturally some of us guys, we can be like, okay, well, what do you know? But when you can take that information constructively and say, okay, all right, she's not trying to hurt me, because a lot of us, especially a lot of us black men, we have a defense mechanism where someone's trying to tell us either about ourselves or something other than what we believe. Sometimes our first instincts is to kind of just back up, like, oh, wait, whoa. I know what I'm doing. And that's where the ego and the man part comes in. But sometimes she's giving you a perspective that you haven't thought of, you probably won't think of, and that's the beauty of man and woman. You have two completely different perspectives. And that woman can give you a perspective, an outside perspective, and thoughts that you'll never come up with because you most likely will never come up with because you're a man. You don't think that way, but they're looking at it from a different perspective. And when you can find somebody that you can mesh like that and you can build together, you know, it's a beautiful thing.
In there. Yeah.
So that's what I've learned.
I love that. I love that. That makes a lot of sense to me.
Yeah,
I received that. Really quick in the chat, Tony Belafonte said, happy wife, happy life. Husbands don't want to fight. She said, husbands, exert your might. She's trying to come up with something. Thank you, Tony. Yes, because it matters. And I completely agree, Shaun. I think the value in partnership comes from our different perspectives. Even me talking to you guys, like, the way you say things are different. The way that you guys are trainers and athletes. I'm attracted to that cut and dry, logical, those analogies and everything. But, you know, women, I've never played sports. I could watch basketball. I'm totally down. Football, but I'm not going to be the girl to pretend that I know half of what's going on. But I enjoy it for what it is.
Right.
But when I hear, you know, you guys speak and it's concise and very linear, I get value from that too. Just like, yes, when a woman comes into your life, we might say something like, oh, I feel this is the right thing. And then next thing you know, it's like, you know, we have different sets of instincts and modalities that lead us to what we have. So I love the idea of continuing to welcome in the value of us coming together, because we are different, but that's the beauty of it. So I'm totally here for that. Love it. Well said. Jay, what about you? What are we doing? How are you feeling?
All right, let's get right to it, because I got a lot to say.
Yes.
So let me start with this. I've been blessed, and I'm absolutely thankful, you know, for my upbringing. But I say that to say, like, my parents, and especially in the Black community, but if you look in the entire world, like, a lot of people's parents don't stay together, right? So I got to see my parents stay together. I got to see the ups. I got to see the downs. I got to see the roller coasters of it, right? Not to mention, like, it was the same thing with my grandparents, and I've seen love, and I know, and to me, based on what I believe, I feel like I have a strong definition of what love looks like, right? What 2020 showed all of us is there's a lot of lie going on, right? There's not a lot of truth going on. So now you kind of got to decipher what's true and what's not, right? Because everything's up in the air. And I feel like a lot of people were exposed. And I feel like love in 2020 was exposed, because now we can't go to all of these clubs. We can't go on all of these trips. We got to stay in the crib, and we got to figure each other out, right? Now let me see how many happy posts you got. Now let me see how many. Now let me see how you repping, right? And I feel like 2020 really exposed a lot of people. You know what I mean? Especially when it comes to relationships. So, in my perspective, and I've always felt this way, and my man Shaun hit it right on the head. Like, everyone's caught up in, me and Nate call it the Matrix. Everyone's caught up in social media, caught up in, you know, what they think is love. And again, I've seen it. You know what I'm saying? So to me, you can't front with me, because I've seen it. I've seen it up close. I've seen it from people that I care about, right? So when it comes to like dating and trying to find somebody, and the thing that I'm struggling with is your definition of what you believe is love, or what you're looking for, is completely different from what I even contextualize. So now, how can I sit up here on a date with you and try and, you know, be real with you when our perspectives are completely different, right? And what I'm hoping that 2020 did was really like enlighten people into, forget about all the lights, forget about all the glam, forget about all of that, and who are you? You know what I'm saying? Who am I? What do I, like, kind of like what Nate talked about? What do I bring to the table? Who am I? You know what I'm saying? And if 2020 made you start asking those questions, I can date you, because you're now seeing it from a different perspective. You're not seeing it from the same BS that we've been fed. You know what I'm saying? You're actually thinking outside the box. I'm not a person, though. Nah, don't get it twisted. I have non-negotiables. I pay attention to red flags. I'm not no fool. But for the most part, I'm pretty flexible, because again, I've seen love. I've seen how my mom has always told me, when you're 20, you'll be 20. When you're 30, you'll be 30. When you're 40, you'll be 40. So when you're married, trying to figure all of that out, people keep changing. So how do you keep falling in love with different people when it's the same person, right? Like, that's hard. So when it comes to like finding a spouse or finding a mate, I understand that we're going to change, and things that you may not be doing now, you may do later. You know what I'm saying? Like, I get that. I understand that. So I say that to say that I'm extremely flexible. I'm not looking for this spot on thing. That's not me. I really don't believe in that. But hey, whatever, you know, like, teach his own, you know. But again, I don't really see it that way. My thing is like, who are you in here? Because I can work with that. You know what I'm saying? If our finances ain't quite where we want them to be, we can figure that out. If we can't agree on what we like to eat, we can figure that out. Like, I'm willing to budge on things like that. That's whatever. But I just need to know, like, where is your heart? Like, I was actually, I'm glad I'm not gonna name no names, but I was talking to a friend, and, you know, and I'm trying to pursue this friend. And one of the things she told me, and I feel like that was all I needed to hear, to be honest. One of the things she told me, she said, I have a hard time receiving love. You know what I mean? And I respect her for saying that, because at the end of the day, you spend enough time by yourself to, like, say, hey, these are my struggles. So I respect you for that. But I know myself. I want to give love. That's who I am. That's what I was brought up on. Like, that's what I believe. So if you're telling me that you have a hard time receiving love and all I want to do is give love, this probably isn't going to work. You know what I'm saying? Now, maybe down the line somewhere, that may be different. But today, this isn't going to work. So as far as, like, my 2020 lesson when it comes to relationships is, who woke up? Whoever woke up in 2021, come find me. I will come find you.
Good
We will
morning.
figure this out. We will
Good
figure this out.
morning.
But if you are
Just out
still
there.
asleep, yeah, if you are still asleep, if you are still in this matrix, if you are still in that mess, I can see it. I know it. And people who are really about love and are really trying to, like, find that spouse and build that relationship, those relationship goals that everyone's talking about, if you really are about that, you see it. You know, so I just hope people, you know, wake up and make changes where they need to make. I mean, I get it. It's easy to fall for the trap. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're on Instagram all day. It's easy to fall for a lot of that stuff. But I hope 2020 kind of kickstarted you a little bit.
Man,
Love it. Love it.
everything. Hey, Jamal said what I wanted to say. He just took the words out of my mouth, like, for real. And that's why I just said, like, I can't talk about the farm and, like, you gotta, because it's just so much deeper. But like Jamal said, we can see straight through it, just like we can see through filters. Filters and all that is fine. The glam is fine. The relationship goals, all that is fine. But that is just one glamour part of life and relationships, you know. And so I always tell that I want to be married at 22. But now at 26, I don't care if I don't get married till I'm 35, because, like Jamal said, bro, this is a lifetime partnership. Lifetime partnership. People change, your opinions change, thoughts change, their body's gonna change, their face is gonna change, everything is going to change. How can you get through that? So just like business, just like your career, just like relationship, we must build foundations to be able to do that. You see a lot of people make $1 million, they'll lose that $1 million, and then they're able to make it again because they have a solid foundation of knowing how to do that. If you build a solid foundation on how to love, how to learn how to love, how to remove the ego and let another woman tell you about yourself, and then be like, okay, I need to grow over there. Like, if you, man, Jamal, you got me excited, boy. I'm
Man.
done.
Yeah, you already know. When it comes to this, you already know I'm gonna get lit up because it'd be irritating.
I mean, well, you know, Jay, we're gonna have to have you back on now, because I know that.
Well, I'm gonna cut you off again because
Yeah.
Jamie, I want to say thank you, because I even said thank you for this before about this bridge about men and women, and me and Jamal have been thinking about having some type of show where we're expressing things from a man's perspective, because we know from the things that you guys are posting and saying and doing that you guys don't even know what we're looking for or we want. You know, you think that we like the girls with the fake bodies. We don't want that. And so when you created this space for us, for men to hear from a woman's perspective, you know, I appreciate that, because I've always wanted to do something for you guys to hear what we really want, need, what we think about you guys, all that stuff. So I think today you inspired us to really go forward with this and really make this come to light.
No, I want you guys to, because your perspectives are so valuable. And as a woman, I'm beyond refreshed. Because yeah, I consider myself built different. And when you get that, as a woman on my end, everything you guys are saying on your end, I'm one of the women, I feel like, where I'm like, when are they going to get over all this stuff? Because I can't even talk to you. I can't even, I'm not that girl. And don't get it twisted. Yes, I model. Yes, I've been on TV. You might see me in a music video. It might, whatever. Okay. But the core of who I am and what I have to offer, a lot of, I commend the men who have tried. Okay. I do see that sometimes I spark a man to try to pull it together and do what he's supposed to do. I get it. But a lot of the times I know I have a very hard time even enjoying dating or finding it because of the climate of men and the things that it's all messed up. It's like you said, it's being put out there that men want the bodies, the filters, the this, booty, bag, all of this. And then so there's good women sitting at home like, I'm not about to compete with that. I'm not about to do any of that. But then it's like some of the guys are saying that, but then you turn around and I look who they're dating and I'm like, how'd that happen? You just said you wasn't about that life. So I'm going to just.
You're right. You're right. And it's funny. And this is why I made that comment a second ago about how thank you for this. And we need to do this more often. And me and Jamal got to get serious because this everything that you just regurgitated, me and Jamal say that often, right? When we see certain women, it's like, we wish that you women, you are so beautiful, but you post on how men ain't shit. But then there's men that will give you everything that you want. I always tell people, look, stop saying that people don't want you. People do want you. You just don't want the person that wants you because you want the celebrity or you want the most beautiful woman or the most beautiful man. So there are good women out there, okay? There are good men out there. The good women keep saying that there are no good men, and the good men keep saying there are no good women. When would these two figure it out? Because both of y'all are lying to yourself, and you really want the girl with the fat booty, and y'all want the man with all the money. Let's keep behind it. Until we look at ourselves in the mirrors and look ourselves in the eyes, we're gonna keep being in this space. So all the toxic people, stay over there and be toxic. The good men, good women, y'all need to look yourself in the mirror, figure out what you really want, and come together and find each other. Period.
Yeah, because even with Jamal and Shaun, you guys both said, like, don't get me wrong, I'm a woman. I like nice things. Well, I've been taking care of myself. Like, I got this. You know what I'm saying? And not on some independent woman. I don't need nobody, but I'm an adult and I take care of myself. Fine. You know, the nice things that I like, if I want $300 perfume, I get it. It's not a big deal. Now, if somebody wants to come in and do that for me, I will receive it. Of course, I'm a woman. I'm the receiver. The only thing I've noticed that when it comes to money, that I prefer a man who's closer to financially stable is not so he can spoil me and do the most, even though I welcome that. It's more so that he feels secure in who he is and how he's showing up for the queen. Sometimes men don't have the confidence when certain parts of their financial house is not in order because they want to show up as the provider. So it's very hard for me. I've been the girl who's dated dudes and I am a resourceful woman, honey. My network, I'ma get it. I'ma help you. God made me that way, period. So I don't mind, let's build from the ground up. But who are you gonna be in that building? How do we, so sometimes with the money thing, I it's a little, I don't know. As a woman, I be trying to figure that out.
Let me say this real quick, and I hope I don't ramble because I know we gotta go. Everybody got schedules and stuff.
Yeah.
This is my beef with that conversation. Is, listen, if you just do your research, one of the biggest reasons, if not the biggest reason, for divorce is finances, right? That's worldwide. That's not just in California. That's not just in your community. That's everywhere. So my thing is, and I'm speaking to men right now, like ladies. I mean, obviously you're here, but I'm not talking to no ladies right now. I'm talking to men.
This is King Speak.
Don't put yourself in no position. Now, obviously, I know life happens. I'm not saying that life doesn't happen, but don't put yourself in position. Don't go take that woman in there to get married when you know your finances ain't right. I'm not saying you got to be a millionaire. I'm not saying you got to be rich. I'm not saying any of that. But you cannot literally, and I don't mean to make it, I don't mean to preach, but I'm just going to be real right now. In the Bible, before God gives Adam Eve, he told him to go count the animals first, right? So that means God put Adam to work first. So if you have not been working, if you have not been established, if your money is not right, it's not solid, you shouldn't be worried about Eve. What you worried about her for? Because all that's going to happen is you're going to get your Eve and you're going to get a divorce because you didn't take care of what you knew you're supposed to take care of in the beginning. So take care of that, handle that, and then it will come. And then you'll be able to access that. You'll be able to go and do things, like your marriage will grow in it. You know what I'm saying? You want a healthy marriage. You don't want a marriage where y'all living from check to check. You know, that's not fun. Nobody wants that, and you wonder why you're arguing. You know?
And I gotta add to that because now I gotta talk to the lady, because men, yes, you should have that, right? I'm not gonna give you so much more, but yes, get your stuff right first before you run into that marriage. But ladies, let me tell you guys this: there's a lot of men out here who truly don't want to break y'all hearts. There's a lot of men out here who, when they're not ready, they have this perspective. They're not going to do that out of respect to protect you and him, because we know the seriousness of finances. It's not about having $1 million or or being able to travel the world. It's about being able to live healthily, being able to have health insurance, like the real things in life that we need. If you can't provide that as a man, ladies, and a man tells you that and he doesn't want to be with you, believe him. Don't
Yeah,
wait
let's
for
go.
him. Be patient with him. Understand that that's the man that you really want. Because a lot of you guys are excited and like, okay, this dude got this car and he's in the club doing this and he got money. He's on. But this is a lifetime thing. It's not about how much money you can make, but it's about how much money you can keep and save. So everybody can make money. How can you keep it? How can you save it? And so when we get into these marriages, it's so important. And it's coming from men who ain't in a marriage. But this is why financing before is very, very important. Because if you don't get that right, you guys are arguing about things that don't matter. Same with your children. You know, if you're complaining about kids and how the school system are teaching your kids, right now you need to be putting in place certain situations where you can be at home to raise your child your way. So don't complain about how they're raising your child. Put yourself in position to make sure you can raise your child and you don't have to go take them to school. So I'm not saying not to take them to school, but if that's a complaint, make sure you're in.
Choose where you want to go.
Right? And so every single time we get to this, the big point of it is if you're stressed about finances, you can't truly love somebody. You're not thinking about that. You're not thinking clearly, right? But it's that survival mindset. When you're in a survival mindset and you have a multitude of opportunities, you're not thinking about the best opportunity. You're just thinking about how can I survive. So
and
if we get away from survival, we can get to clear thinking. Go ahead, Danny. I'm done.
And that survival mode is what I tell women, that's what incites masculinity in us. Because when you're in survival mode, you're tight, your heart is closed, everybody's an enemy. And that's not how we're designed. So there's no flow, there's no intuition, there's no ease, the best of what we have to offer cannot come through in survival mode. It doesn't work that way. So I completely agree about survival mode. And I can see that's where the fights come in, because now everybody bucking their chest up. And that is not how, it just can't be that way. That's not the yin and the yang. If a woman feels like she got to go thug it out, like y'all gonna be fighting. It's not gonna work because she's out of her nature. So, no, I love this conversation so much. We can go because I think, Nate, we talk for hours, but I do want to respect everyone's time. I know, Shaun, you had some other things, and I really appreciate you guys. I absolutely want to continue the conversation, so we'll hop on. But thank you for sharing, everything. Such powerful insight. I'm so happy for you guys. I think we should stay connected, especially resource-wise or just wisdom-wise, to keep each other uplifted and going and moving forward in this collective success that we're going to experience. So before we get out of here, if you guys just want to shout yourselves out, where to find you online and where they can find your books or programs, YouTube channels, whatever, we'll go Nate, Jay, Shaun, and then we'll bounce.
Yo, it's your boy Royal Nate. I'm royal because I come from a royal family, right? Yeah, I'm creating it. But anyway, find me on Instagram on Royal Nate _. Don't forget the _ Twitter, YouTube, Royal Nate Harris. Get on the YouTube, subscribe there. I'm putting a lot of information on YouTube, a lot of information on YouTube. I'm gonna start a podcast soon, which will be on YouTube, having interviews like this. Me and Jamal are gonna have a lot of stuff going on. So Royal Nate on YouTube, you'll find it. Type in Royal Nate and it'll pop up. I'm everywhere.
Love it.
Follow me on IG, Jay _PENZ PENZZ. Obviously, personal trainer, very big on the personal as well as the training. So obviously, spiritual growth, mental growth, physical. So check me out, man. Hope to see y'all soon.
Love it.
Right. Shaun, aka the Olympic Trainer. That's THEE _ Olympic Trainer. You can find me Instagram, Facebook, YouTube pretty soon. I have a couple videos that I'm launching to kind of really get out there and help people. I help people start their business, work with their websites. From a personal training standpoint, I train trainers as well. Business.
Your book.
And my book. My book, Business Hoops, which actually right here. Business Hoops, getting you into the game, is basically a step-by-step guide to help you get started. None of that fluff that you get from these big books that you see. just straight to the point. How do I do this? Okay, great. Now what's the next step? Okay, this is your next step. Okay, this is your next step. And I take you all the way from the conception of your idea to going live with your business. So all the resources, everything I've learned, I don't skimp on anything. I dumped it all inside of that book. It's 165 pages, so it's an easy read. So, yep, and that's me.
I love it. You guys are a blessing. You are amazing men. I'm so glad I had the opportunity to put this on today and hear from you. And of course, I'm going to be sharing this. For those of you watching, please follow Kings Speak on Instagram and follow me on Instagram at Jamie Alexander. And I don't know if y'all know, but on Thursdays, the queens get together. So I have Queens Glean. Yes. So we're going to talk about all of the stuff that you guys talked about and kind of respond from a woman's perspective. And I have a woman's panel, Queen Cookie, Keandra, Kiara, Key Renee. We're going to be doing Queen's Glean on Thursday, so to make sure to tune in. And yes, we're going to be picking up what y'all was putting down and talking about that. So thank you so much for all the wisdom. And we're going to all stay in touch, and we're going to do this again for sure. So happy 2021. Let's get it. And you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you again.
Right.
Peace out. Stay safe.
We'll talk soon.
Bye.
Bye.
Later.